Hello, everyone. We're back.
Welcome back, everyone. It's been 2 hours, but in all honesty, it feels like it's been much longer. Looking at the scoreboard, 4 challenges, so it should have been 5 6 hours. But
Yep, yep,
these
yep, yep.
people are crazy good.
Yeah, yeah. You can see only the number of people who were able to solve 4 out of 6, which is pretty crazy. Is right now, what is it? It's 9 people. No,
Nine,
10 people.
10.
10 people were able to. So there's clearly a very significant traffic jam around challenge number 5, which is holding pretty nicely so far. So guys, um, keep on trying it, keep on cracking here. I'm sure you're gonna get it at some point. But yeah, it's not easy at all, not easy at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, like honestly, the all of the challenges are not that easy in essence. Like these are all mistakes that can happen in real applications. Like that's something we need to keep aware about. Like that first challenge, that's a mistake I've found in penetration tests in real applications uh,
right.
many times before. It's something that in fact it is a mistake that's so easy to make as a developer because it's something you don't even consider. But it still happens. So that's kind of
True.
it surprises me, and this shows how
Especially,
many people are able to solve it. Like 30 people already solved that. So if you put
yeah,
an application out on the internet with this bug, people are going to exploit it, which is a crazy
exactly,
to think about.
exactly. So that's crazy because we have about, I think at this point, on and off people logging in, almost 150 people in this game, and 30 people were able to solve it. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to give you guys a hint for number 1. And again, everything here is taken from real world scenarios, and we know because Robbie's been around and he's doing pen testing and bounty for a lot of time. Really experienced and talented individual, and he's seen a lot out there. And based on what we're seeing, not only Robbie, but what we're seeing, in the wild, we're building smallest app that we can take to illustrate the vulnerability, one, two, a little bit more sometimes, especially in those events. They could be more than even two vulnerabilities you need to exploit in order to help to, the solution. But anyways, this is great to see how talented people are, and keep on working on number 5. Robbie, anything before I jump into a hint for number 1?
Um, I think that so far everything is going quite smoothly. There's some questions that always come up. If you're not sure about something, just say in the chat, "Hey, I need help with this challenge," and then we will be able to help you with technical issues. We won't be able to give hints. Let that be clear. We are not giving out hints because obviously this is still a competition. It's logical that at some point you're going to get stuck unless you get through all 6 of them, which you might. But if you don't get through all 6 of them, it's logical you're going to get stuck. But take that as a learning opportunity. Be stuck there for at least an hour so that you've at least exhausted all the options, and then the real learning can come into play after the event when there's something not in your methodology, something you're not checking yet. But after, we will be happy to discuss the solutions with each other on Discord, on the last live stream. Uh, and then that's your learning opportunity where you can improve your own skill set with something that you obviously missed. Because
Right.
these challenges, they are difficult. Definitely, the latter ones are really difficult. So you will get stuck, but it will be a great learning opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, with that being said, we're not providing hints, definitely not individually. We are providing one hint per checkpoint on number 1 and number 2, at least during the course of the game. Just to and that's equal opportunities. So whoever wants to join and hear the hint, we're here to do that. But again, we're probably going to do challenge number 1, number 2, maybe number 3, not even sure. But that's kind of like a small hint to get you going, because we really want people to have that opportunity to feel success, and it's hard. So even with the hint, it's not going to be easy. Okay, it's not going to make it easy. Even the one pepper, the first challenge that is kind of like considered the simplest, and 30 people already solved it. I'm sure there are a bunch of folks out there trying to solve it right now. So here's what I can give you for that. Okay. So first of all, you need to be always looking at what we're trying to do. In this case, we're trying to read the OS file, um, hosts, which is an OS file that you're not definitely not supposed to be able to read with that submit data, button or API endpoint. Doesn't doesn't offer anything like that, right? But we are looking at a vulnerability that will allow us to do some sort of file inclusion, or at least or a remote execution, right? Because that's what we're trying to do. If we want to go in on the server and read a file, it's either a file inclusion, we want our response to include it, or it's going to be a remote code or command execution. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. If we look at the submit, okay, the one hint I can give you, which should take you a little further, is that there's more than one type of input or parameter that can be sent, and it's probably for legacy reasons, right? So the most common one is JSON. So you'll be sending a JSON file, okay, and that that's a pretty standard kind of like processing method. And then there's a fallback alternate format, which I recommend you zoom in and look at. Okay, this part is typically kept here for compatibility purposes, because maybe this service was created a long time ago and supported other types of input, and this part is there. And I strongly recommend focusing on that because the vulnerability is there. So take a look at what's going on there, what can be achieved there. It's a different format. What is this format, vulnerable for typically, and start there.
Yeah, and this is something like a huge recommendation to everyone. Once you solve it, include this into your methodology for hacking applications. Definitely in bug bounty, it's something that's missed a lot, because in this case, it's actually written here that this behavior will happen as a fallback, as a legacy thing. But there are frameworks where this behavior is enabled by default. And you have a whole application that's only expecting JSON, but by default, the framework accepts some kind of fallback that is exposed to vulnerabilities. This happens in the real world. I have found it on a lot of pen tests, and I know that other people miss this because they just don't think to check it. But it needs to be a default check when you're hacking an application. And as a developer, you also need to know your frameworks and whatever you're using very well to make sure that the framework also only accepts what you expect it to accept, and not whatever it's been programmed by somebody else many levels down and third parties to do, right? So make sure that you also check against this as a developer, like what does my framework accept by default?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And this happens in a while, and I'll tell you why. As a software developer myself, okay, I'm not a hacker. I'm actually coming from development of software, taking specs, making them software. And after a while that you have an app, okay, you built a lot of logic, you spent a ton of money from a company perspective and effort and sweat in building something. You want to add another feature, you want to modernize it a little bit, you want to add capabilities, and you're building on it. So sometimes it's very easy to miss capabilities that were in the past that you want to preserve, you don't want to break. But those capabilities can have risks and bugs, not only security bugs, but also bugs that can break the software. But let that alone, put it aside. We're talking about security today, right? And that is definitely something that happens quite a bit in the process of modernizing and upgrading our apps and adding features. Because there, what we're trying to do is, hey, let's not break the past. Let's just focus on the future. You're not looking at the past, or you're not looking close enough to what could happen there. And maybe you're even adding vulnerabilities by creating that fork. Hey, here's future, here's past. And by that logic, you can create cracks to get in. So that is really an important lesson, even though that's the one pepper here, probably, 30 people solved it, still a very important lesson.
Yeah, because in the real world, usually it's not a single file that's going to do it as cleanly. In the real world, you have 100,000 files. You have all kinds of different API controllers, and they get their data from their inheritance, perhaps from other files that are somewhere else that you didn't even write. It gets complex, and that's where these bugs like to hide in the real world. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And yeah, it's a real good message, and that's what we're trying to do here. To be honest, like the entire Wizer CTF platform, be it the public one that we're sharing with you today, we're building a challenge every 2 weeks to share with you guys, or twice a month, 24 challenges a year, continuously renewing. And this one, which we're trying to do every quarter, right, with the public, to kind of like bring things that are a little more complicated, invite people that are more experienced and challenging them as well. That's all has mainly one purpose, is to keep our code base secure. And we're trying to not like create some, imaginary scenario. We're actually looking at what's happening in the wild and trying to, show that within a smaller, kind of like narrowed down scope app that demonstrates it. So
Okay.
yeah, so with that, hopefully a bunch more people will be able to solve challenge number one. I hope people didn't give up, trying on number one. Never give up, because again, once you get one, you get that feeling of being able to solve it. Will give you a lot of motivation. And again, that's kind of like, if you're a developer and not a hacker, you're not used to this type of experience, and it can give you kind of like the adrenaline that comes with solving, really finding a crack and exploiting it. It's really nice, I gotta say. As a developer, we're less used to that. We're used to creating something and being excited that it works, right? That we're actually able to deliver a feature. We're less excited about hacking stuff because we're not doing it, and that is a different type of excitement, and something that you would like to feel. And again, it's going to contribute a ton to your ability to spot those issues once you can go back to sitting as on the developer seat.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, fully agree. Okay, Itzik, what do you say we let them break their heads a bit more over challenge number 5 and 6, and then come back in 2 hours?
Absolutely. And for those of you who are still working on number one, no problem at all. Again, you have to start somewhere. Nobody starts at challenge number 4 and 5. And if you're still having issues or can't figure out basic things, just DM us. We'll be happy to help, because again, our entire goal here is educational. We are making this opportunity to kind of like have a lot of fun. And believe me, Robbie and I are having a ton of fun. We're excited and we are happy to host this. But in addition, it's educational. So if you feel like, you're getting close or you're getting stuck, we could maybe kind of like fix a technical bug for you, and get you going. So again, we're not going to provide hints because it's not fair. But especially for the challenge number one, I think it's fair. I think I would like to see each and every one of you solve at least challenge number one. So,
so if you're stuck on that, give us a message, and then we can get you cracking.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, so we'll break now, and we'll jump back again in less than 2 hours, an hour 45 minutes at 2 p.m. With another check-in point. Hopefully by then, some other things are going to be solved. Maybe yes, maybe no. We'll see. And then we're probably going to provide a hint for challenge number 2. So stay with us, keep on cracking, and let's meet up again in less than 2 hours.
See you guys. Bye.